Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host and MC of the day, CJ Sturmer.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody today? I love the energy, I love the energy. Hopefully you all are enjoying the warm breakfast. I know that I did. This is why we have backup plans. And this is why we have backup for backup plans. There we go. Is it this one? Is it this one? Great. Live show, y'all. It's like TV. Anyway, thank you for coming this morning. I'm really excited to get started with our youth coming on the stage to tell you about their experience and their programs from all across the country. I've been meeting with them. Y'all, these are some leaders. I'm excited to talk with you about them. Real quick though, just a couple of housekeeping notes. Hopefully you all enjoyed the movie last night. I heard it was really, really good. Right? Hello, cheers in the front. Live for that. Make sure for the reception tonight at 4:30 at the pavilion, I was told, because I called it the yard out back. And I was like, oh, my Southern's coming out. So at the pavilion behind the hotel, make sure you're bringing your badge. That'll be your entry point. Also, there's yoga tomorrow morning at 7. They're going to meet down in I was told that's a conservatory, not the sunny room. So we'll be meeting at the conservatory. And if you're participating in the bingo tournament, make sure you're turning those cards at the registration desk by 3 p.m. today to be entered into the raffle. You don't want to go through all that and then not be in the raffle because, prizes are important. Also, don't forget after this, you're going to be going in back-to-back 2 breakout sessions, and then we will have the Headshot Lounge is opening at noon today. So make sure if you haven't gotten your headshots, go in there. We got to keep the LinkedIn looking fresh. And then we'll have our keynote speakers this afternoon, and then we'll have the reception, right? Easy day, you guys stoked? There it is, there it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring out our youth leaders so we can get that conversation started. Please help me welcome to the stage Brooke from Y Street, Exodus from Next to Rise, Andrea from Evolvement, and Mia from the Y'all program. Hi, y'all. Y'all. Hi, everyone. How are you? Good. We are really excited to have you all today. And I want to be able to make sure that the room knows who you are and where you're from. Brooke, I'm going to start with you.
Hello, my name is Brooke Hayden. I go to King George High School in King George, Virginia. And I'm a part of Y Street, which is funded by the Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth, that partners and engages youth in policy change and preventing tobacco and obesity preventions.
Amazing. Thanks for coming, Brooke. Exodus, tell us a little bit about where you're from.
Hi, I'm Exodus Wilroy. I'm from Rockport, Missouri, and I go to Rockport High School. I am a junior. I am part of Next to Rise, and I'm on the leadership team this is my first year. And Next to Rise is a youth engagement program that focuses on creating a healthier Missouri, safe from the effects of harmful tobacco and vape aerosol use.
Amazing. Thanks for coming, Exodus. And Andrea, we'll go with you.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Goripaga. I'm from New Mexico. I'm a senior in Cuba High School. I'm here with Evolvement, and I've been on the leadership team for the past 3 years. Evolvement is a youth-led movement funded by the Nicotine Use and Prevention and Control Program. We focus on a 24/7 campaign and no minor sale, and our goal is to make all schools tobacco and nicotine free.
Fantastic. Glad you could make it. And Ms. Mia.
Hello everyone, my name is Mia V. Sweat. I'm from Stillwell, Oklahoma. I'm a part of Y'all, Youth Action for Health Leadership, and it's funded by the Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust program. So what we do is we have 2 campaigns, Elevate Student Health and Counteract Tobacco. And with those programs, we are making sure that Oklahoma is free from the harmful effects of tobacco and poor nutrition. And my role as an LT is just kind of to educate my community, and so I've educated over 500 plus youth within my county.
Wow, period. Mia, we're so glad that you're here. So as you can see, we have all kinds of states with all types of programs dealing with all types of issues, and they're all doing the same to promote leadership and ensuring that we are giving youth voices, which is a huge part of what we talk about here. So we're really excited to hear from you all. One of the first questions I have is, why is that important, right? Why is it important for you to be involved, especially when it comes to creating change around policy and being able to, promote those changes? Brooke, I want to start with you. What do you think?
I think it's really involved for youth to be involved in policy changes, and everything that's happening is because we are the future. These policy changes are affecting us, not necessarily the older generations, and when youth are involved, we're able to put our opinions into what's happening, and hopefully that will convey a little more better of how the youth want to be involved.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Andrea, I'd love to hear from you. Why is that important for youth to be involved with policy shaping?
Yeah, like Brooke said, I think it's super important for youth to be involved with the policy changes, because at the end of the day, it affects us and the future generations. So getting our perspective is also just as important as the adults' perspective as well. Yeah. Exactly.
Thought leadership is a really big piece of this. And I think another big piece of this is not everyone, youth and humans are not monolithic, right? Everyone has different motivations on why it's important for them to be involved, whether it's developing skills, finding value and being included, representing their peers, things like that. I want to hear from everyone on, specifically for you, why was it, what was your motivation and why was that important to you? Mia, let's start with you.
So my my motivation was definitely the fact that like youth below my age were vaping, and like I had my sister tell me, which she's in middle school, that she had instances where like people were vaping in the bathrooms, and since we're from a small town, that school didn't have vape detectors. But it's just so sad how people, you know, end up getting caught and are doing that stuff. And like it's just really important to me to protect like the future youth, because they are what matter. They're the next generation, and they're gonna rise and they're gonna lead us. So
I could not agree more. So well said, especially when you're seeing your peers behave, actually exemplify these behaviors, and you want to stop that. You want to see healthier lives. Andrea, what about you? Why is this? What was your motivation, and why is it important?
I would say my motivation started at a young age. So my grandpa had a smoking addiction from for as long as I remember, and that always bothered me, and he would focus more on, you know, getting more tobacco intake and less time with his family. So I think it's so important that keeping my peers away from that tobacco and nicotine so they don't end up in the same way. And like Mia said, the future generation needs to be protected.
Wow, that's fantastic. You know, family involvement and early prevention of not having to see those repeats with your peers. That's amazing. Exodus, how about you? What was your motivation?
I'm very similar to Andrea. I grew up, and my aunt, who I spent a lot of time with, she was constantly smoking. She was a chain smoker, and I was exposed to secondhand smoke for a very long time while I was around her. And it was just really hard to be able to have those relationships and, you know, have healthy relationships when you're constantly breathing in unhealthy things. And I wanted to be able to prevent that for my younger siblings and the other people that hang around people like that.
That's a really good point. Sometimes it can create distance because it's starting to affect your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Brooke, what was your motivation?
So Y Street is a program in we're trying to get all Virginia high schools. I initially joined, I'm gonna be honest, for my resume for college, but through Y Street, just within the first year, I realized how much Virginia needs help and how much Y Street does. And after that first meeting with the leadership team at the time, I realized that I really wanted to be involved, and then that became my motivation of just trying to help Virginia become better.
That's great. And girl, there is nothing wrong with being honest in the world. You put that out there. And there's also nothing wrong. We talked to Tombi yesterday. She said the same thing. Being able to develop skills is a huge value add for you, right? You're literally on stage doing public speaking. I wish when I was in high school, someone put me on a stage. I mean, I'm here now, but it probably would have prepped me earlier. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to build skills. I think that's a really good motivator. Something that I've learned too is each of these programs are in a different stage of their development. Some of them have been around for quite some time and have really been able to shape policy long term. And there are other programs that are pretty new that are really starting to get off the ground to build the infrastructure to provide that opportunity for expansion. So I want to hear from the folks first your programs have been around for a while and you've really been able to shape some of that policy. I want to start with, go back to you, Brooke. What are some of the specific policies that you all have been able to influence because of your program, and how does that make a difference in driving those forward?
So Y Street has 2 campaigns, Rev Your Bev and Share the Air. Rev Your Bev promotes healthy hydration by increasing the access, availability, and promotion of water within Virginia public schools, and then also Share the Air, which promotes 100% tobacco and e-cigarette-free outdoor public spaces in Virginia. Just recently, this past week, we had 4 policy victories. So in the state of Virginia, that deserves a clap. That means that 4 counties within Virginia adopted either Rev Your Bev or Share the Air policies, but we've had an abundant amount of policy victories. Our goal is to try to make the entire map green for Share the Air and blue, which would mean that every county has adopted Rev Your Bev or Share the Air policies.
That's great. We love blue and green here, so we absolutely promote that. And I think what a good example for everyone to see that youth really can impact policy. 4 is not a small number. Policy change can be very difficult, especially to get a lot of people on board, especially when there's a lot of, sometimes bureaucracy, red tape, and, there's a lot of adults to get to. So that's fantastic. Andrea, I'm interested to hear from you, especially in New Mexico. What kind of policies have you all been able to make?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, Evolvement has 2 campaigns as well, the 24/7 campaign and the No Minor Sale campaign. So the 24/7 campaign works on making schools tobacco and nicotine free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So through the 24/7 campaign, we've met with school board meetings and principal meetings to eventually work up to getting a rule passed with the New Mexico Public Education Department to get all school districts and schools in New Mexico completely tobacco free.
We love all tobacco free. It goes right along with what you were talking about, your mission, that from an early childhood, it's like you're starting to actually create the change that can benefit people. That's huge. So we have 2 other programs that are a little bit newer, right? I know Exodus in Missouri, you all have really kind of started to get off the ground, and you're starting to create really important conversations with adults that have a lot of influence in your school system. Tell us a little bit about where your program is and how you've been able to develop those specific relationships with these school administrators.
Yeah, so recently this past year, I joined my local coalition. I've been going to meetings for a little over 8 months now, and we've been really trying to work on pushing a policy change to happen in my small town. I think later this month, maybe next Wednesday, we're finally going to be passing this ordinance that we've been working on with our city council, and I'm very excited about it. Yeah. But it's just been getting out there and talking to them and working together as a group.
Do you find that there's been resistance to that, or for you has it been an easier process that these adult leaders and people that are in charge of these administrations, do you find that they've been really open, or has it had to be continuous conversations to get them to be more receptive?
It really depends on the person. A lot of them are very open. I've had a few that were really, what's the word? I don't know. They were very resistant. They weren't really listening to what we were telling them at all. But like the mayor and then like 3 of our 4 aldermen, they were like very open, but then we just had the one who was like really just, are you sure it's a good idea? Like, is everyone gonna like it? And we were getting a little bit of pushback from him, but.
That's really good to know, because I think it's an example of how us in the room, as people that are constantly advocating for our youth, to really stand by them, to be the guide, to make sure that other adults that we're working with that aren't in the room, to be able to say, yes, it is a good idea, and I'm gonna let Exodus tell you why, because this is what's influencing their life and their peers' lives. So I think it's a really good example of why it's important. And I think it's great that you found someone also too, like you're talking to the mayor. That is not a small, policy influencer. So I think it's great that you were able to make the charge and to put yourself out there to say, I need to talk to this mayor. I think that's amazing. Mia, I'm interested in hearing from you. You all you're newer, but you are still kind of progressing forward, and you're in the process of actually expanding. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so y'all has 45 different schools that we work with, so it's a lot of students. And so basically at my school, we have 2 LT, and like kind of what we do is a lot of everything. We do like youth, like Healthy Youth Day, Swap Up Day, Counteract Tobacco Day. We do Day at the Capitol. We do principal meetings, and so like in order to like really like get and connect with like your staff. I've, went to our principal, I've held a meeting, I've gathered like a few people, and we were able to just kind of like give her our opinion on what we thought like our advisory time should be spent. And we were just like, yeah, maybe like a mental health time would be so great. And like from there, we were able to like connect with our school board, and we were able to like update our wellness policy. And like at first we were like very nervous, as always, and they couldn't talk the first time, but they invited us back a second time, and they just loved everything we had to say. And they in turn ended up awarding us with the SHS Coin of Excellence. And so they were really proud of what we do. I've talked to our mayor, our city council. I've talked to, like I said, multiple schools around my county, and there's like quite a bit, like 7 or 8. And like I've said, I've also been to the day at the Capitol, and I've actually got to educate one of our representatives up there. She had absolutely no clue what our campaign was about. And so just being able to educate an adult was just so unique, because it doesn't happen all the time. So
absolutely, we all can use more education, and a youth leader, I think, is the perfect way to learn. And I think it's really speaks volume that you all were invited back, right? They saw value, they wanted to continue talking with you, and to continue to have you all tell your story and what was important to you. I think that speaks huge amounts of volume. I'm kind of curious. So you've been able to talk with other people at other schools, whether they be administrators or students. What is it like or how has it been for you all to actually be able to create the relationships at other schools to talk about what your successes have been? How did you all go about that?
So, like I've said, I've talked to youth, and like one of our biggest groups was like 174 kids, and it was just me and my friend. And so like those are like some of the most meaningful moments to connect with them, because like they absolutely love what we're doing. I was able to connect with like every child there, and they absolutely loved the part where I was able to give them the mic, and they were able to like kind of share, what they thought was healthy and whatnot. And we kind of had like our presentation up there, and the staff were very supportive. They sat like on the sides right next to the children, and they were just so happy about like what they were able to see. Everybody was video recording every single one of the youth like running, because we have a little relay race at the end to promote physical activity, and they loved it. The kids were just so loud, and I think it's like one of the best moments, like experiencing happiness. So
Experiencing happiness. What a great like sentiment for that. And talk about a domino effect, right?
Yes.
It's not just, we're influencing the youth in our school and our peers, but you really started showing value to other people, and it's just 175 is not a small amount. Like that's incredible. How does that feel? How does it feel to be a part of something bigger, and to see the change that you're creating, and to see your peers be excited about that, and to see adults to also be excited about that and want to help you? Exodus, I'm gonna start with you. What does this feel like to you?
It's very encouraging and very empowering, being able to see change in your community that like you're supporting, you're helping get done, something you've worked on forever. It feels really good just to be able to see the progress you're making, and you're helping people, and especially the people you've grown up with, the people that you're going to continue to grow up with, your kids are going to grow up with.
Right. Brooke, what about you? When you look at what's happening and reflecting on that, what does it feel like for you?
Yeah, I would agree. It feels really encouraging. Honestly, it's my drive to want to do more and more and more. If you'll meet me, you'll realize I never sit down, and frankly, it's because of Y Street and the amount of work that Y Street itself as a program has put into it, but also the youth, and knowing that our communities are changing and our entire states as we're creating a healthier Virginia.
That's incredible. Andrea, what about for you? What has it been like for you to reflect and just look at all the influence that you have?
I think it's incredibly fulfilling, like just knowing that I'm a part of something bigger than just me or just our program. Like they both said, future generations are so important, and just knowing that I'm helping the future generations just grow up in a better and healthier place it just makes me feel better when I go to sleep.
Yeah. I can relate to that. It's nice to know that our youth have advocates when you lay your head down at night. How about me? How about you, Mia? What has that felt like for you?
Awesome. I've made, like, just individually, I've made like a lot of progress, and it's a big amount of progress. I'm from a very small town, so I never thought that I'd be here, because as a freshman, I walk around the halls and I had like my hair on my face, and so it's just really good.
Do you all find that the peers in your school too are really appreciative? Like, what kind of feedback do you get from them when they start to maybe also feel the same way, that they have someone that is being a voice for them to make these policy change? Because when we talk to youth, and I've had many conversations with young people, I have heard that it's not just me that feels this way, that there are so many of my friends that also feel the same way that I do, whether it be tobacco or whether it be leadership and skill building. I've heard this multiple times. Do you find that your peers are coming up to you and being very grateful and appreciative that you all have a voice for them? Andrea, I'll start with you. Do you find that that's common?
Yeah, so being a part of the Evolvement leadership team, I have younger classmen that want to become, to where I'm at right now and want to help. So they want to learn more about it, and they're so appreciative to, like, okay, I don't want to be involved in tobacco and nicotine. I don't want that for my future generations. So they're grateful that, programs like this are around, and we have the staff and the adults from our programs that support us. So I think they are very grateful. I mean, you're going to have people who don't care as much, but
Right.
They'll learn eventually. And at the end of the day, they're going to know that we're doing something better for their life and our future in general.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very pay it forward, which I think is really important. Brooke, what has it been like in your school to hear from your peers? Do you find that people are grateful or continue to talk to you, excuse me, about your influence?
So I'm going to reference off of Rev Your Bev, which is our healthy hydration campaign. That's more school oriented. Share the Air is more the community. I know our students love it. When we host Rev Your Bev events, everyone's over there. We run out of all of our goodies, have to refill our water jugs, which we fill with fruit, so that might be why they like it. But all the time, and it's just straight positive feedback. People from out of King George County will come and be like, hey, is this gonna be a thing at our school? And Y Street does a unique thing where we have surveys. And for Rev Your Bev specifically, a lot of students will fill out the surveys, asking questions, do you agree with this or that? Do you like this? And we have heard way more positive feedback than negative, so I would say it's definitely an improvement.
More positive than negative. That's great. 1,000%. Mia, how about you? What have your peers been saying?
So they kind of announced it to like our senior class that like I had this opportunity to come here, and I think like a lot of the teachers was just like continue to like congratulate me and everything that I've done within the school. And obviously like our program makes money for our school, and so that money is then funded to like clubs who really need it, such as the Key Club, so that they can have like it's kind of like a comfort care closet. The money gets funded to that so that people, who are experiencing like having troubles, being able to obtain those products, have, the products that they need to go through their life if they want to go privately get it. And it goes to like maybe sports who are unfortunate or new things that are just happening to like help youth with their education or even physical activity. That's what we want to do, is promote physical activity. And so I think that it's really cool now that like a bunch of teachers and like including like students, like after I meet with them, like sometimes I'll see them like out of school and they're like, do I know you? And I'm like, let me think back, like what school are you from? And they'll say like Marietta, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I've talked to you about y'all, because the kid tried making me say 6'7", but obviously. But yeah, it's very cool, and I'm glad that I'm influential. I just absolutely love giving back to my community, and that was really my goal this year. And also to like help my y'all members be able to be involved in every single event that we have, whether they're scared or they don't even know how to do it. So.
Wow. Not you being a local influencer celebrity in the aisles of the grocery store. Okay, she's getting spotted. You're getting fans. I love it. Exodus, how about from you? What has it been like? What's the response been like from your peers?
I think my peers are very receptive, and they're very happy that someone's out there doing it for them, because a lot of them, they don't want to go out and do it themselves. They're very glad that someone is willing to go out and get it done. And it's really encouraging, because a lot of them, I know that they have issues, but they have really bad stage fright, and they don't want to go out and do much. So it's nice to know that I'm helping the people that can't help themselves.
Right, and you're setting such a good example for them too. It's like, yeah, you have the stage fright, but it takes practice, right? To get on stage, to practice your public speaking, and you all are doing great. So there's nothing really to be afraid of. I love that. I think something that is really important for us in the room is to understand the how, right? We all want to work with youth. I don't know that I've met anyone in this room that's like, yeah, I'll just do it. We'll just give it to them. How can we be better and more effective of actually working with young people? What can we actually do and influence the adults and empower them to think differently about how they approach young people? Brooke, I want to start with you.
I think adults can work better with youth through the use of social media. Social media is the youth's biggest platform, way of communication, and I hate to say it because I'm not a technology girl at all, but it is the easiest way to communicate with us, and especially when adults find trends to empower students or have connections on social media, it makes whatever the adult is trying to convey across way more trustworthy, and we're able to have the connections.
Now, when you say social media, do you think it's more effective for them to just, oh, well, we'll just create one for our program and we'll just post what you're doing and we'll do that? Or do you think it's more helpful for them to help facilitate ways for you and your peers to create these influential micro-influencer types of moments where they're helping to promote on your channels and influencing your peers to do the same? Which one do you think works best for you?
I think the second option is definitely the best, having youth become the influencers and able to work alongside the adults.
Oh, that's very good to know. So maybe we just adjust the way, instead of spending energy on posting over here, we encourage to create assets and things that you can post and that will ask you what would be best on your channel, and not just say, here's a flyer, can you post it? That's really important. Exodus, what about from you? How do we empower the adults in the room to think differently and actually give them advice on what to do?
Honestly, I think just talking to the youth and understanding what we're talking about and communicating in a clear way is really the most important way to do it. I honestly prefer speaking face-to-face when talking to somebody, because I think you just get a whole lot more across, and it's way easier to talk to people and understand what they're talking about and where they're coming from.
I think that's important. Do you think it's important for, sometimes we're comfortable and we've always this is just how we've always done it. Do you think it's important for folks to start to get uncomfortable, or what advice would you give people if they're not really sure how to feel about that?
I'd recommend just getting out there and doing it. It's really important to be able to step out of your comfort zone, because I don't know about you, but I'm not like a big public speaker. So, just getting out there and doing things you're not fully comfortable with, it's a really good experience, and it'll help you in the long run.
Yeah, so we have to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. The way we've always done things is not always the best way. Andrea, how about from you? What do we tell the folks in the room of the how?
Well, the same question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I think the easiest way, just giving straight up advice is, for example, the day of Capital. So the Evolvement youth the Evolvement staff really gave us all the resources we needed. So all we needed was our voice, and all we needed was to educate our legislators and senators and share our voice and our opinions and our stories. And that also created a bond between us, and they related with our stories, and they had a lot of similar stories and experiences that we did. So I think that's a great way that adults can communicate with us and involve us as well.
Yeah, sounds like that you all really work together to build that trust and that consistency. Like, I think it's something that you really just said. It's like, well, we talked with these people, and then we showed up, and then we did this, and then we did this, and that's sort of been a theme with all of you all. It wasn't this one shot, right? It was showing up consistently and doing what you say you're gonna do, and it really helps to build that trust. Do you find that that trust is really there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Mia, how about from you? How do we empower the adults in the room to think differently?
So very similar to what Andrea said. Most importantly, really, we want a personal connection as well as like a mentor connection. So like the connection I have between my youth field organizer, Alexa, is like, she's able to have fun with me, give me advice, you know, personal advice, but at the same time, she's able to be adult, you know, and that helps us grow because we are able to be ourselves. And it's just really important when we go and advocate to everybody that you be yourself. You stand up for what you believe in. You push through on the passion that you have. And so that's very important. And so by you being there and you being our mentor, you know, and our friend, you know, you're just allowing us to grow, bloom, and pushing us forward. And what I really like and what they said a while ago was like, you have to be uncomfortable to be successful. Right. And so, you know, you have to step out into big things like these and get uncomfortable, like maybe while speaking, but that's just the process in order to allow you to grow. And so that's just very important.
Period. Like, period. Put that on a bumper sticker. I don't think that anybody in this room would disagree with that. And it almost sounds like, too, is that, you know, building upon those relationships. Like you talked about mentoring. Do you think it's just as important for adults to be like, okay, well, what's your opinion? I'll go out and do it for you. Or would you rather say, talk to me, sit down with me, teach me how to do these things, and let me be the voice?
Yeah, so it's important to teach, and like our YFLs, like if we need help, they'll teach us, you know. They'll give us all the information that we need. They're there to like help us, support us, and they're just kind of like, woo, let's go, you know, go Mia. And so that's a very big, important part. And so them being there and just kind of allowing us to take the lead and just step out of our comfort zone is very, very big.
Tell them what a YFL is.
So a YFO is a youth field organizer, and then so they're basically are people who come down to our schools and they, you know, present to us, or they teach us a presentation if we're having trouble, you know, with like what we're supposed to say. And they're always there to ask like so many questions. You know, they're not going to leave your side, obviously, and they're just kind of like your best friend, basically. And then obviously we have campaign managers who are the behind the scenes people who set up everything, and they're just really cool, and everybody is there no matter what. So always very supportive.
Yeah, love that. YFLs,
Yes,
we got to be those people. You all are incredible, like truly, 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 and I really see some really bright futures for each and every one of you. Just in the last couple of minutes we have, I'm really curious, what's next for you? Like, what do you want to do after high school? Where are we going? What are we doing? Mia, where are you going? What you doing?
Okay, I'm going to be attending Northeastern State University to get a bachelor's degree in accounting.
Okay, accounting. We love that. Andrea, what do you want to do next? What's up with you?
So I'm going to the University of New Mexico, staying in state. I want to become a pediatrician. Like I said, the passion for kids has always been there. I love kids, and I hope to make an impact on their future as well.
That's incredible. Yeah, pediatricians are very important. We need more of those now more than ever, so that's really awesome. Exodus, what is up with you? Where do you want to go?
Well, I'm only a junior, so I still got another year to go. But I'm hoping to go to Kansas, the University of Kansas, KU, and get my nonprofit business administration degree. And then I want to start a nonprofit for trans teens that are in dangerous situations.
That's incredible. I love that you really have a passion for helping a community that doesn't always have as many resources. So that's amazing. I cannot wait to hear more about that nonprofit. And Brooke, where are we going?
So I'm going to the University of Virginia on a full academic scholarship.
Yes, scholarship!
I am double majoring in biomedical engineering and biochemistry with a minor in political sciences. So wish me luck. with the end goal being a trauma surgeon. However, I really want babies. So we'll see what life takes us.
Well, you're aiming high, you know, just a casual bioengineering. Well, it sounds like you got that resume builder that you needed.
Got the resume all filled to the brim, don't worry.
That's what's up. Everybody, please help me thank our youth leaders. We are so proud of you. Yeah.
Oh, God.
You all, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you backstage. We got to get some photos.